Domestic violence continues to be a crisis in Oklahoma. This week on Oklahoma Chronicle, an exclusive report and conversation into what's going wrong and where we can improve. According to a report from the Attorney General, domestic violence homicides have spiked in Oklahoma since 2019. 2023 is the most recent year of data we have, and that one was the highest ever, 122 victims. About 40% of women experience intimate partner violence, rape, or stalking in their lifetime. Today, a must-see report from KOCO's Elise Jones, who spoke to victims, loved ones, and prosecutors who know the damage being done all too well.
This is, to me, a man's state. Men come first before women and children here.
It's just so commonplace. And every time you hear of a woman being shot, it's domestic violence.
Can you start another unit up to the hospital? We just had a gunshot patient walking.
February 11th, 2025, a 19-year-old pregnant woman, Promise Cooper, was shot and killed by her boyfriend.
The system failed my daughter in many different avenues, and that shouldn't have happened. And it can't keep happening.
I had somebody threatening me and going around my apartment looking for me. He was just riding around with a ski mask on.
Okay, what's his name?
His name is Tristan Stoner.
The suspect, Tristan Stoner, now behind bars for her murder. But it's not his first time in jail or through the court system. Records show Stoner's had multiple charges filed against him from 2020 to 2025, including gang offenses, 2 counts of domestic assault and battery by strangulation in 2020 and 2023, domestic assault and battery in the presence of a minor, and pointing a firearm. But every single one of those cases were dismissed, something the district attorney's office says happens nearly every day.
More often than not, the victim does not want to cooperate. Of course, we would like them to work with the prosecution in the case. A lot of the times they don't want to, they think that it will get better. What we tell victims all the time is, well, I bet he's being very nice to you right now because the criminal case is pending. What do you think is going to happen when we have to dismiss these charges? It's going to go right back to how it was before.
For many victims of domestic violence, fear keeps them from filing or following through with charges.
The only reason that they're going to get the police involved is because they are scared. Then they're in a position where we're asking them to come and testify. They don't want to. They are still scared.
And for those who do come forward, there's no guarantee that their abuser will stay behind bars.
For whatever reason, a lot of times domestic abusers are able to bond out. So these victims are dealing with an abuser who is out of custody that they are scared of.
Tara Curran, a domestic violence survivor, was shot 8 times by an ex-boyfriend in 2021. She says she knows the battle women face when deciding how to move forward from an abuser.
And you understand the woman being afraid. And, you know, even when you're testifying and you're sitting in court and that abuser is looking directly at you, it's different. When you file the VPO, they get a copy of it. So they're seeing everything that you're writing down in there. And so I understand completely that they're afraid.
But she says knowing her abuser can't hurt her or another woman.
And if I didn't do something, would this happen to someone else? So it was, you know, if I don't go through with this, then there's someone else that could potentially go through the same thing, and I just wouldn't be able to handle that.
Case after case, women with protective orders filed against their abusers have become the victims of tragedy. In Bethany, 31-year-old Joni Salazar was killed by the father of her children just 1 week after a VPO was filed. That same month, 45-year-old Kelly Slaughter was killed in Oklahoma City just days after filing a VPO.
Kelly is always someone who always had a smile on her face. Y'all know that.
Of the 50 homicides that were intimate partner homicides, more than half of those, the perpetrator had committed an act of abuse on the victim prior to the homicide.
For Curran, her abuser had a previous charge that was dismissed before they met.
I didn't know everything until the sentencing. He explained what happened in that moment. So just giving him that opportunity, like it happened so long ago.
And in Promise's case, Stoner's charges were also dropped. But the day her life was taken, she tried to get help. Records showing she called 911 just 44 minutes before she was killed. telling police she was being threatened.
He was driving, he was texting me. I have video proof of him calling me, telling me he was going to harm me and my family.
Her mom also telling police Stoner, quote, wanted her to get an abortion after learning she was pregnant. But police reports say the dispatcher got Promise's name wrong in the call notes, stalling the response and keeping officers from making contact with her.
Okay, what's your name?
Promise Cooper.
I'm sorry, your first name one more time?
Promise with a P.
Tawny?
Promise with a P.
Reports say an officer went to her house and talked to her mom, but with the wrong name.
While you're sitting at my house asking about Tanya, my daughter's only 6 blocks away in a parking lot getting whatever happened to her. Well, we all know what happened to her in that parking lot in that car.
It was too late. 44 minutes after Promise called for help, she was shot and killed. Reports say Tristan took her to the hospital, where 911 was called again. The medical examiner report says Promise was shot in the chest. She was 4 weeks pregnant with an ectopic pregnancy. Her manner of death, homicide.
She's going to go back home. I was going to take her back home.
At the hospital, Tristan told detectives it was an accident. But back at home, her mom would get a knock on the door that changed her life forever.
And they came back around 8 o'clock-ish that night. And that's when they asked me if I knew Promise Cooper.
A call and a knock, all too common in Oklahoma. Tara Curran says in her family, she isn't the only domestic violence victim. Her own cousin lost her life to domestic violence in 2009. That loss pushing her to advocate for others.
I couldn't see what that did to my family again.
The Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office told KOCO from October 2024 to March 2025, 298 domestic violence charges were filed. 50 of those charges have been dismissed, 30 of them because the victims didn't cooperate. In the rest, the suspects took plea deals or were charged with other crimes. The DA's office says when victims decide not to file charges,
What do you think is going to happen when we have to dismiss these charges? It's going to go right back to how it was before. So just to be vigilant that to watch their behavior, someone cannot change overnight. Your safety is the most important thing, and you're not going to be safe if you stay with an abuser who has not gone forward and gotten some kind of treatment.
But what options are there for abusers?
If there's a method, if there's a program or process maybe to be better intervene younger, so children and kids that live in domestic violence homes understand that that is not normal. That is not how you resolve disputes with an intimate partner or any partner.
And while some programs do exist for adults,
There's the program, the batter's intervention,
Curran says many never complete them.
because the perpetrator or abuser has to pay for it. They don't always go through the entire program. I know a couple of ladies in particular have said that their spouses have gone through the program and both times they didn't complete them.
So year after year, families are left wondering if abusers' cases weren't dropped or treatment was completed, if their story would be different.
Why was he out? He was let down because he should have still been in jail, getting counseling, getting anger management, been on probation or something like that. There should have been no reason why he was let out with the charges he had previously.
What needs to be done to help women more than what is already being done, what resources are already here?
Do we look at other states? What are they doing? How do they combat it? What statistics do they have? And just seeing what we can do going forward. Also letting them know about resources.
While Tara works to change the lives of domestic violence survivors like herself, she's also working to change the law. She's been in talks with state legislators to create a 72-hour hold for abusers taken to jail.
If they're bonded out, that's not enough time for the woman or male to get any kind of help and get to somewhere safe, where they know if there's a 72-hour hold, there's enough time to get resources, file a VPO, get moved.
And it's not just about Promise anymore. It's about everyone that comes after her. I'm her voice now. Her DNA still lives within me.
Promise Cooper's boyfriend has pleaded not guilty in her murder. He is in jail right now on a $10 million bond. His next court date is scheduled for December.